All right. Welcome back to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. It is still 9:13. The sun has risen, as you can see behind me. It's 8:48 a.m. Sammy wants to get up at 10, so I got an hour. So I wanted to get another episode in. Did some dishes. And that's about it for an update. Just drinking some coffee, did some dishes, playing some video games, poking around the house, doing little shit here and there. But let's take a break from Charlie Kirk. We did like 4 episodes on Charlie Kirk. I created a playlist yesterday. If you are interested in the story, and by the way, I'm not saying it's not an important story, but there is other shit going on in the world. A lot of people in the conspiracy community, obviously, anytime anything happens, they say that it's a distraction from something else. I try to report on everything. For one, I get bored sitting there reporting on one story over and over and over again. I feel like we've been doing pretty good on Charlie Kirk. Did I said Charlie Ward the last episode. That's a content creator. Did I just say it just now? If I did, I apologize. Charlie Kirk. But my thing is I don't want to get burnt out on a subject, for one, and two, this channel, we talk about conspiracy in general overall. But what I was saying is, content creators in this community, as far as the conspiracy community and truth community, whatever the fuck you want to call it, whatever makes you happy. I just call it the conspiracy community because I'm an old school conspiracy theorist. I'm a 90s kid and grew up in a conspiracy family. They always say that, oh, this is a distraction from what's really going on. But they never truly answer when you ask, okay, what are they distracting us from? It's like that Bill Hicks joke, you know. They never tell you what they're distracting you from, you know. They just say, this is a distraction. I've even heard people say the Epstein story is a distraction, which we've been covering that like crazy. I don't think the Epstein story is a distraction from anything. If not anything, the Epstein story to me is like, the Epstein story and AI are like the 2 most important stories right now. Recently, this Charlie Kirk story, I've been covering it a lot. I do think it is an important story. But those are the 2 biggest stories right now, in my opinion. I don't think the Epstein story is distracting from anything. That, to me, is the biggest important story there is. An elite child trafficking network. Yeah, kids come first in my book. That, to me, is the most important story. As soon as this Charlie Kirk, as soon as they found the shooter, allegedly, you know, I don't know, maybe. I personally think it's the guy. But I think there's 2 more involved. That Omar Galvez guy. And that tranny bassist dude. There's a dog. But, yeah. So, while all this Charlie Kirk stuff has been going on, and this is honestly, I disclaimer, I used to be an ancient astronaut theorist. And over the years, I've said it in the last episode, I've become more cynical and I've become more skeptical. I believe that there was ancient technology. I still believe in the ancient astronaut theory, but I don't believe in so much that it was space travel. I believe that we were visited by, you can call them the fallen angels, the lowercase gods, And they are alien because they're alien from this realm. I don't believe so much in the space travel part. I believe it's more of an interdimensional thing, whether it be realms or whatever. Um, you can still believe in aliens and believe in flat Earth. Um, I don't think it's so much a physical thing. I think it's an interdimensional and spiritual thing. Really, we have been visited by something alien in nature. Um, and I do believe that there was ancient technology. I mean, look at Egypt. Like, look at all these old structures. I believe in Tartaria. I believe in so much more. But I do believe right now that we have been gaslit since the 90s on aliens are bullshit, you're crazy, you're a tinfoil hat guy if you believe in aliens and UFOs and all that bullshit. And now suddenly the government is coming out and like talking about UFOs and aliens and UAPs is what they renamed it and all that shit. And it's like, anytime the government has told me I was batshit crazy, which is why I bought into it, because I was like, well, if the government says they're not real, they're probably real. Now the government is saying they're real. I'm like, they're probably not real. I think it's a mixture of something interdimensional. I think it's something alien. It's 50-50, I think. I think it's 50-50 alien and 50-50 our own military with experimental technology that they're test driving and shit. That being said, there's ancient stories of literally aircraft, spacecraft like Vimana, flying chariots, flying shields. The Romans talked about flying shields, which are literally saucers. That being said, this is a recent story. This was 2 days ago. Actually, September 10th. The day that Charlie Kirk got shot, this story came out. And it did not get really any coverage because Charlie Kirk got shot in the neck. And I'm not saying, it's a bad thing. I mean, honestly, if you really wanted to play devil's advocate, maybe the Charlie Kirk shit was a distraction for this. I'm not saying, you see what I'm saying? You could play both sides. But I just wanted to share this story. I enjoy ufology and ancient astronaut theory. It's one of my favorite subjects to talk about. I love alien type shit. I love putting my tinfoil hat on. I grew up on Art Bell. I love this shit. And to me, I just wanted to talk about this. This was an interesting story that no one's talking about because of everything that's going on with Charlie Kirk. Which is fine. It's important. I mean, I've been covering it past 4 episodes. I've been covering Charlie Kirk. But I want to do something fun. Take a little break. Put your tinfoil hat on. Chew some bubble gum for your brain. Let's have fun. So, U.S. tries to shoot down mysterious UAP. Whistleblower video and what we know. The viral video provided by an anonymous whistleblower to Republican Eric Burleson, he's a Republican in Missouri, appears to show a military drone attempt and fail to shoot down an unidentified object. So, a military drone was shooting at a UFO and it failed. So, did it hit it? Let's find out. A never-before-seen video shown during a congressional hearing purports to depict a U.S. military drone attempting and failing to shoot down a mysterious orb-like object. So listen to this. Back in the 90s, dude, we grew up on, cable TV, where we had, I think it was 30 channels, maybe, 20-something channels. And we had, every now and then, you would have, an awesome fucking documentary of, and these were actually decent documentaries, because this was before AI, this was before CG, where they would do old school UFO documentaries, and you can't even find this shit anymore unless you have it on VHS or unless you have it on VHS, you can't find. In the ufology community, we've talked about this before of like, dude, we grew up on like the most dope ass documentaries because they would show actual VHS home videos of UFOs. And this was, like I said, pre-internet, pre-CG, pre-AI. So, like, this was legit shit. And you can't find these old documentaries anymore because, you know, they don't exist anymore. And the mainstream channels don't play it anymore. Mainstream cable or satellite TV or whatever you have doesn't play these old school fucking shit anymore. So, whatever's out there, hold on to that shit. Put that shit in a fireproof safe. Because, yeah, they swiped all that shit clean. So, that being said, back in the day, we were naive, and honestly, the ufology community, I kind of separated myself, like, a lot from it. I'm still a ufologist, you know, but they still in the community now. And back in the day, like, anytime we would hear, like, a government official talking about UFOs, we were like, to us, that was, like, evidence and credibility that, yeah, this is true. Now that I'm, like, I've went through, like, the black pill phase, and I'm, like, now white pilled, and I've been in the community for, like, years now, like over decades now. I've kind of reversed it. So anytime I hear the government like, yeah, we're gonna talk to Congress, and I'm a politician, and or I'm military, and I believe in aliens and UFO. Now I'm actually the reverse. I'm like, oh, that makes it non-credible now because I don't trust my fucking government. I don't trust any government officials. Like, now it almost discredits it. That's where I kind of have separated from the ufology community. So back in the day, if you would have told me this back in like 2012, that a Republican, a congressman, a politician was speaking to Congress about UFOs and the military shooting down UFO, and you had like military generals talking about it before Congress, I would have been eating this shit up back then. I would have been like, oh my God, you know, we're getting disclosure. And like, now I'm like, I don't believe any of this shit because I know about Project Bluebeam. I know about the propaganda. I know what they're planning. You know, the final card, as Werner von Braun said. But now that I went all black-pilled, let's have fun. Let's just have fun. Provided by a whistleblower to a member of the U.S. House, the video was arguably the highlight of a lengthy hearing September 9th on Capitol Hill. So the day before Charlie Kirk. The day that book came out. Go check that episode out. Surrounding UFOs, which the government now refers to as unidentified anomalous UAPs. They renamed it to UAPs. Hillary Clinton was a part of that. I still call it UFO. I'm not going to change what I call it. Sorry, I've never called it UAP. I've always called it UFO, and even when they changed it to UAP, I'm like, no, I'm still going to call it UFO. You don't get to choose. You guys have treated the ufology community like shit, the government. You don't get to just come in and be like, okay, now we're going to talk about UFOs and we're going to rename them and we're going to hijack y'all's community. No, this is my community that I grew up in. My dad was a ufologist. I'm a ufologist. It's UFO. Get over it. Fuck you, government. The hearing was the third in as many years in the halls of Congress since fiery testimony on July 2023 reignited public fascination in UFOs, not to mention the possibility that aliens are piloting them. Across 3 hearings, several witnesses, including journalists and high-ranking military members, have testified under oath about shadowy military programs to retrieve and study non-interstellar alien craft, but the extraterrestrial pilots themselves. So, yeah. I mean, what we've been talking about, Men in Black, basically. Congress' latest foray into the topic of UFO comes amid heightened calls for transparency as legislation in the works would compel the federal government to release more information about what they've uncovered. That would be cool. Here's what to know about the UFO in question, as well as the military's apparent attempt to destroy it with a Hellfire missile. Listen to this shit. I had to report on this. I was like, I'm sorry, dude. That old school Abe, that old school little boy conspiracy theorist Abe and young man, the ufology guy comes out, the ancient astronaut theorist. I'm like, dude, we shot a UFO with a Hellfire missile and it bounced off of the motherfucker, and the motherfucker kept flying. I'm like, dude, I gotta report on this. I'm sorry, man. I love this shit. Every now and then I come across like the other day I reported on jackalopes, you know. I love this stupid shit. Sometimes I love stupid bubblegum conspiracies. And it's my channel, and I want to have fun. We've been talking about Charlie Kirk and dark shit for like past 4 episodes. I'm like, dude, I gotta report on something fun. So we shot a UFO with a Hellfire missile. A drone shot a UFO with a Hellfire missile. Apparently it bounced off the motherfucker. Here's a still frame. I don't think this is a video. Yeah. There's not much you can see, but here we go. Yeah, so that's a still frame from the footage. If there is a video, I will show it. So, the viral video provided by an anonymous whistleblower to Republican Eric Burleson. I have no idea who this guy is. I'm not super big into politics. I keep up with it for conspiracy reasons, but the only politicians I really liked was Robert F. Kennedy Jr., I liked Jesse Ventura, Rand Paul and Ron Paul. DeSantis is kind of cool. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's cool now that she's not QAnon anymore. But that's about it. Everybody else can fucking suck my dick, you know. Matt Gaetz is okay. That's it. Besides that, kill them all. Don't actually do that. I'm just saying in Minecraft. The viral video provided by an anonymous whistleblower to Republican Eric Burleson, he's a Republican of Missouri, appears to show a military drone attempting to shoot down an unidentified object. Burleson presented the video publicly for the first time during Congress in its latest UFO hearing, which took place on September 9th, the day before Charlie Kirk's assassination. The video shown at the House hearing, taken October 30th of 2024, the day before Halloween last year, off the coast of Yemen, shows an unknown object Burleson referred to as an orb, which is a style of UFO. You have orbs, you have fireballs, you have cigar, you have TR-3Bs, you have flying saucers. There's all sorts. You have cube. There's all sorts of different styles of vehicles, aircraft, and/or some people believe they're fallen angels shape-shifting. You know, I'm not big on that one because I'm very pagan. I'm not Christian. I'm an occultist. I believe it shows itself to you however you can comprehend it with your belief system. If you're a Christian, you're going to see an angel. If you're more scientific, you're going to see an alien, a gray alien, and a UFO, and something mechanical. If you're into ghost, you might see it as a flying hag in the sky, you know, like it shows itself to you however you can comprehend it. You see what I'm saying? You getting there? You guys need to read Mothman prophecies, man. I'm telling you. So, an orb being tracked by an MQ-9 drone, also known as a Reaper. Dude, I have to say, man, the military is dope with naming shit. An MQ-9 drone. Okay, that sounds kind of lame. But then they're like, AKA, we call it the Reaper. You know? Sounds badass, dude. In the video, a second Reaper drone off-screen fires a Hellfire missile. Once again, man, they named this shit fucking dope. Hellfire missile. The Reaper fired its Hellfire missile that enters from the left side of the screen to make contact with the object. Burleson said at the hearing, while the mysterious craft appears damaged as smaller debris break off, it is able to continue on its original course after the direct hit. So, this is why I believe it's interdimensional, but I believe that these things... If you look at old Anunnaki depictions, or Zoroastrian depictions, or you read the Bhagavad Gita, right? They talk about these lowercase gods and these interdimensional beings, but they talk about them that they do have craft, whether it be called Vimana or fiery chariots or chariots of the sky. They do have craft. So I do believe they have technology. And whether they are traveling from the future or they're traveling from a different realm, a different dimension, they are riding in and on craft. So after this Reaper drone shot a Hellfire missile at this craft, it did knock off some debris. Now that makes me go, where the fuck is that debris? Because that debris had to have fallen. That's what I really want to know. Did Men in Black go in and swipe up this debris and clean it up and nothing to see here, you know, quarantine it off and like, yeah, find the debris and it's in Area 51 or something. You know what I mean? It's somewhere. I don't know, man. I love this shit. Even if this is just all propaganda, bullshit, disinfo, it's still fucking fun, man. I just want to have fun. So we hit this motherfucker with a Hellfire drone from a Reaper drone, or a Hellfire missile from a Reaper drone, and apparently some smaller debris break off. I want to know where the fuck are those debris. The government probably came in, swept the motherfucking debris up. It reminds me of that old story that Art Bell had, and he died mysteriously afterwards. Art Bell had kind of like tinfoil that you could crumple it up and it would just go back to normal shape. It was alien technology, alien spacecraft debris, and someone had given it to him, and then he died mysteriously afterwards, and that debris has always been missing. If you know what I'm talking about, if you're an old school conspiracy theorist, hit me up in the comments. You know what I'm talking about. It was like tinfoil, and you could crumple it, and it would just go back to its normal shape, like, instantly. Crazy technology. So it was able to continue its original course after a direct hit. Below is the video I revealed. So this is a tweet from Eric Burleson, Representative Eric Burleson, Republican from Missouri. That's cool the Republicans are getting into ufology. I feel like they would I don't know, man. I don't think it's really a political thing, left or right paradigm. Below is the video I revealed in our GOP oversight UAP hearing today, made available to the public for the first time. October 30th, 2024. A Reaper allegedly tracking an orb off the coast of Yemen. So it will play. I'm going to play this if it will allow me. Give me just a second. All right, cool. So it will allow me. I'm going to play this. It's going to be no audio, so it will be dead air. If you're an audio listener on Spotify, Spotify has video. So everywhere you're listening from, you can see this. You're going to honestly want to just watch. It's going to be dead air sound for a while. So if you're driving, pull over and watch this shit. All right. So it's 50 seconds. Well, I just had it playing. There goes the missile. Broke off debris. And the motherfucker keeps going. Insane. So if it was off the coast, I imagine that debris fell into the water. We need to send in some fucking scuba divers in there, dude, to get that shit. And I'm sure they have, dude. I'm sure the fucking Men in Black showed up in 2 seconds with some, like, SEAL Team 6 fucking scuba divers, some frogmen, you know, what Jesse Ventura used to be. They probably sent in frogmen and was like, go in, find this shit, you know, and bring it to us. And it's sitting somewhere in Area 51. Well, Area 51 burnt down. Go check that episode out. I reported on that shit. Where the fuck is that debris? If I was in Congress, I'd be asking that question. Where is the debris? I want to know that. I would be that politician. And then I'd catch a bullet like Kennedy. Green light given to engage. Missile appears to be ineffective against the target, Burleson said in a post on social media site X after the hearing. He added that an independent review of the video is underway. What does a Hellfire missile do? A Hellfire missile is an American missile first developed for anti-armor use. Well, it worked because it knocked some debris off that motherfucker. And later developed for precision drone strikes against other targets. The weapon can be used as both an air-to-air and air-to-ground missile, providing precision strikes against tanks, bunkers, helicopters, and other targets, including, according to military.com. The Hellfire missile is capable of defeating any known tank in the world today. So this is a badass fucking missile. Like, this is the baddest of the baddest, dude. Witnesses at the hearing, who included 3 military veterans, testified to Congress that no known human technology is believed to be capable of surviving a direct hit from a Hellfire missile. But as journalist George Knapp, that's my boy, George Knapp. Okay, old school conspiracy theorist. You guys know George Knapp replaced Art Bell. Art Bell was Coast to Coast AM, one of a huge inspiration to me to create a podcast. I love Art Bell. Art Bell is it, man. Art Bell, William Cooper, those two guys right there. Art Bell and William Cooper are like the two conspiracy radio conspiracy kings, man. They were the two guys who started it all, dude. Rest in peace to Art Bell. But when Art Bell died, George Knapp, well, even before Art Bell died, like, he retired for a while. He would retire off and on. He would take years off. Kind of like what I do. I'll take a year or 2 off sometimes. Or a year and a half off sometimes. Just disappear. And then come back and be like, alright, I'm here. And just put out a billion podcasts, you know. You guys know, a long-time listeners, I just disappear sometimes. Art Bell used to do that, and George Knapp, he kind of took over Coast to Coast AM. I like George Knapp, but he's not as good as Art Bell. So, journalist George Knapp observed during the hearing, the missile appeared to have bounced right off the object in question. And I seen the video of the hearing. He was there, George Knapp, so, and it kept going. He's kind of become a regular on Last Podcast on the Left. Go check their channel out. They love George Knapp, and they've had him on like 2 or 3 times. Like, he keeps coming back on. And he's still putting shit out for Coast to Coast, and he's got his own podcast. And yeah, George Knapp is cool. But Congress hears more testimony about UFOs. The video was perhaps the biggest revelation amid the latest hearing in the halls of Congress about UFO, and whether the U.S. military and the intelligence community know more than they're letting on. Representative Anna Paulina Luna, her last name literally means moon. That's very fitting. She's a Republican from Florida. Hell yeah! A fellow cracker, dude. Who chairs the task force that hosted the hearing, said in a statement ahead of time that the American people deserve maximum transparency. Agreed, ma'am. From the federal government on UFO sightings. Agreed. Luna's task force on the declassification of federal secrets was established in February of 2025, so that's cool. I'll need to look into that. And is a separate House Oversight Subcommittee from the one that last held a hearing on UFOs in November. So, there you have it, dude. We had a Reaper drone shoot a Hellfire missile at a UFO. You guys got to see the footage. They brought it before Congress and showed it. And it bounced off of it, knocked off some debris. I really want to know, where the fuck is that debris? And I don't know. I wanted to take a break from all the darkness that's in the world right now and have a fun conspiracy that's recent. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to donate $1, please do. It's in the description below. Buymeacoffee.com. Hook me up. Love y'all.